beautiful Sunday morning. The sun is saying, can you come out to play? Hey, should've saw it coming, should've caught the warning. But
that girl from
we have already started, okay? Hey, it's me, Wanda B with IntellectualRadio.com. He said, she said, and we are already having fun because we have a really good topic, and we have been feeling this topic, talking about this topic well before we even got started today. So, here we go. I want to thank my sponsors, and I'm going to start off thanking them because they are the reason I am here. My Morte Cosmetics, MorteCosmetics.com. Dante keeps me in my runway red. So I want you to order it too, because you will get 20% off if you put Wanda B down there when you go to get it. I want you to get it because you'll like it. And she has tons of colors, lots of different colors. So check out, get mortified with me. Check out MorteCosmetics.com. And then Trinity Wholeness Center, where it's a place, it's a holistic and healing center where we heal your mind, your body, and your soul.
Got to go. I need healing.
All right. And Omen Home Improvements, you have your glass block windows, and you got that breeze coming in. It's been kind of warm now, so you really haven't had to deal with that too much, but I want you to check out Omen Home Improvement as well. The number is 773-238-1829, and tell George I sent you. Tell him I said, you know what, come check out my windows, buy some windows in the home improvement. Just Me magazine going to be coming out in February, and Love Alice, check out that magazine, lots of good content. So I thank all my sponsors who are with me. Oh, and Steezo Radio. I didn't forget you, Steezo. Steezo. He gave me this cute little line to say how to say it. And guess what? I'm not going to say it because I was like, I'm going to remember how to say that. And I messed that up to say it already. Sorry, Steezo. But you'll get it. Steezo Radio. You can like it on Google. He's everywhere. Google Play, iHeart, anything you can think of, Spreaker, he's on there. Check out Steezo. Okay, we're going to get started with our topic. You ready for it? This is a juicy one.
Juicy.
These two have been going, okay?
Sweating. I'm sorry.
Y'all sweating. We've been discussing this before we even got started. So what we're talking about today is peeling back the layers of love and lust. Woo! Woo!
Love and
Stand yourselves, please, because we've been talking about what are the differences, though, because there is a difference between love and lust. And how do we know do we know the difference? Do we know when we meet someone whether that's only lust talking or is it love? So what's the difference? Love is an intense feeling of deep affection.
Yes.
That's love.
That's love.
That's love. Some people say they can feel love at first sight. I don't know about that one.
I said
you can feel love at first sight.
Feel love at first sight?
Absolutely.
An intense feeling of deep affection at first sight.
Lust at first sight.
I felt lust on the elevator this morning coming to this woman was fly. I said, Lord, let me.
Okay.
So what is because I was thinking about that getting dressed. Lust is a very strong sexual desire.
Oh, the sexual desire.
Okay.
I think we know we can feel that one, right? Without knowing anything else. Because that's a visual. Doesn't lust start visually?
It does start visually.
Lust it's that aesthetic feeling, that visualization, because you start to undress someone.
Ooh.
You look at them and I see love don't make you undress somebody.
No, it
love
doesn't.
gives you that, like they say, that deep, intense feeling. But that lust, you can imagine everything, every physical thing about them.
Okay, you all saying, who is that talking next to you? Okay, I have Yatu, who is our regular contributor here at He Said, She Said at IntellectualRadio.com. I'm happy to have him every week. He represents the he's.
Absolutely.
Muscle he's. And then today, I'm so excited to have with me Terry D. I am Terry D. And she has a big event coming up in February, first week of February. So I'm going to let her talk about that towards the end of the show. But yes, very excited to have her with us today. And she is the conceptualization of this term, what we're talking about today. She sent it to us, and we were like, ooh.
Intellectual radio, you got to think today, man. We're going deep, baby. It's not going to be that surface, those mean topics. Aiming for this one.
No, Terry's going to take us a little deeper.
We didn't come here for the emoji love.
No. Emoji love or the emoji lust.
Yeah.
Deep lust. I don't know what the layers in between are, so Terry's going to have to.
She's going to talk about the blurred lines. The blurred lines of love and lust. Tell me about that, Terry. What is the blurred lines of it?
So a lot of the times when we are in a relationship or we are getting to know someone and we think about love, we think about lust, then you have no choice. The first thing you see is physicality. That's it. You see physical, and they say don't trust a big butt and a smile. Well, most of the time you don't trust it, but it still look good to you. And as women, we don't tell the truth about what we think about men. Size does matter. And we don't think about what we're thinking about when we're looking at them. Like, unless you are he the one, I want to marry him. But when we first meet somebody and the blurred lines come in when sex comes first. When we decide, I thought I was going to dinner, but here I am, and what? I'm pretty sure my undergarments are on the floor somewhere. And blurred lines of lust and love, because you've already envisioned it in your head, what you want from them. And so if you go with an agenda, sometimes we go with an agenda, especially if we've already met them and we already know. The blurred lines come in the way that we dress, how we show up for the date, what we want, what we don't want, and we're sitting there and we can't even finish our dinner because all we think is the truth. Or we'll be like, well, I'm gonna cook dinner for you. It's pump your brakes. You are not gonna cook dinner for me on my first date. It's just not gonna happen, because I already know. We done snuggled up on the sofa.
I know.
We'd have had a glass of wine. I can't see, and now I'm really blurred.
You can't even focus.
You can't.
You want to focus. You keep telling yourself, "No, listen to what he's saying.
Yes.
Listen to what. Stop thinking, looking at what his lips moving."
Right, that's exactly right. And so you have to decide what your agenda is, where you are when you meet that person. What do you want from them? So, do I want sex? Do I want love? Do I want to get to know them? Do I want to get married? Blurred lines, lust or love.
But I would like to know, and please help us, women. We like help with when we're feeling the lust and we know we want love, but we still go for the lust, thinking the lust will get us to the love. Do you think that happens sometimes?
The reason we do lust is because we use sex as a bargaining chip. We use sex to try to keep him. But if that's all he wants from you, guess what?
You're not
He's gonna go with the program with you. Let's think about Being Mary Jane.
Okay.
Last week on Being Mary Jane.
Do you watch it in y'all too?
No.
Not this one, but not episode 2 of season 4, but episode 1. She wants love so bad, but she cannot get lust out of her system because she doesn't know how to be loved. But that first time she grabs this man, she paid $20,000 to try to find love, but she had 24 hours to not sleep with anybody. So she rushes to this club, grab this man, they go home. She sleep with him, and he said, "You sure you want to do this?" He was all game for not doing it.
Right.
He like, "You sure you want to do it?" And she like, "Yes." And so they laying there naked. He's on top of her, and then he says, "What do you need from me?" And she said, "Tell me you love me." From a complete stranger that she just met in the club.
That was so deep.
Yes, it was. All she wanted love, but she also needed to kind of scratch that itch that she had going on, because sex is her coping mechanism. Sex is her coping mechanism. So for her, it's completely different. And her lines, I don't think, are blurred. She knows exactly what she wants. She just has not figured out how to value who she is.
And that obviously came through. Okay, I don't know if you saw the episode. If you DVR'd it, I am about to mess it up for you. So you may want to tune out, blah, 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 right now, because I'm about to ask another question of Terry D, because I have wanted to ask someone about this, and it goes with the love and the lust. Okay, so when she went to, and I'm still going to tell you, so I'm warning you, I'm about to tell you. Okay, so she went to a matchmaker. Mm-hmm. And the matchmaker wouldn't even take her money. Matchmaker said, I'm going to refund you because you have some issues. You're not ready. You're not ready.
I feel it in my spirit that I'm not going to be able to help you. You're not ready.
So did that just come out, radiate from her? That from what she wrote to this woman, she just knew that Mary Jane wasn't ready.
Because it's no different than your energy. We attract who we are. We attract, and our energy exudes no matter what we think. And because this lady is trained to do this, she already knew, and plus she did her research on Mary Jane. So she already knew. So it doesn't matter. Like if you think about the energy that we had prior to even going live, or me meeting you, and going there, automatically we fed off of one another's energy.
Absolutely.
And she felt like, you're going to hurt my business. Ooh. If I take you on as a client. And then that's, because that's her brand, that's who she is. I can't help you, because she knew Mary Jane would not stick to it. And I mean, the fact that it spoke volumes that she felt like, I need to get sex right now. If I cannot have sex, later, I need to get it right now.
Oh, you make such a point. And I think that's part of peeling back our layers.
Yes.
Very much a part of the Terry D experience that's going to become
removing the mask.
Removing the mask, because Mary Jane has a mask that's so layered on her face.
Yeah, when you take one off, there's another.
And it
comes from, if you look at her family dynamics, if you look at what
she make this about being Mary Jane.
Not really. She represents so many women, and let's explain why she represents so many women. Let's break down who she is, because she's so many of us. Is that she's the woman that's always one bad relationship after another, where you think she would learn. Last week I was like, is she really going here? She moved all the way to New York to just start doing the same things I feel she was running away from. Many failed relationships, very successful woman. Everything on the outside looks so perfect.
Yes.
Yet,
but she hadn't healed. So it doesn't matter. She can move to 3 different states. So you take off the one she has. She has internal demons. She has generational curses. She has things that are plaguing her, and she's running, but she can't run from herself. She's running to other people, but it's still, no matter who you go to, I can go to Yatu, and I'm going to bring the baggage. I'm going to bring the pain. I'm going to bring that because I've not healed. The other person is not the one that's bringing it. They're just participating in my foolishness.
But why don't we? What is so hard about healing? What is so hard? Why do we bring these masks with us when they've hurt us before? We know they're not serving us. When Mary Jane, I'm going to use her because she represents many women of so many. She's been with the married man. She's been with the successful. She's been with so many different types. And what makes us go, look, why does she even think she needs a matchmaker when she's just got in town? I think it said 2 weeks, and she's looking to hook up.
Without seeing the show, I can jump on that. She's looking on the outside for the answers instead of looking on the inside for the answers. And so healing takes work, and everybody don't want it. It doesn't feel good. Painful work. You have to admit stuff to yourself about yourself that you don't want to think. We always like to look at our best selves and look at the best aspects of us. And so, everybody has the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we don't want to look at the ugly. And so that's how people end up continuously searching for it outside of themselves.
Exactly. And healing is an inside job. So until she values herself, see, we think Mary Jane gotta be boss. Because Mary Jane is, driving a Tesla. Mary Jane is on this #1 morning talk show. She is, you see her coming to her house. She wears the best clothes, but that is what she's using to make her feel good. That's another layer. So if I buy these things, it's going to mask who I really am on the inside. She's not revealing, she's not removing any mask. She is continuing to add on the layers. She's adding on layers. It means, okay, I want to buy this car because it's going to make me better. Oh, okay. Now I'm going to go out and buy this purse for this amount of money because it's going to make me better. She's worried about what people think of her, but this last gentleman she met, he did not want to sleep with her. He saw her for who she was and started to make her peel back the layers. And she had to be honest. And if you look at, again, we're giving it away, she started to enjoy who she was by herself. She started to really enjoy her. She does not know that value for her is materialistic. She doesn't know her true worth. No matter what people say, she does not know her true worth. And she's looking for someone else to make her happy.
And Yatu, from the male perspective, do you see this in women when you meet them? How do men perceive this type of woman when they meet her? Do you see that, the layers?
Sure. I don't know that it means that everybody's not healed because they have layers. It's like the flip side for me. We're talking about people wearing a mask and using it to cover up. I try not to be lustful is my mask. I'm actually very lustful behind the mask, and I'm trying to be politically correct or in control of myself or not immature or whatever the connotations that go along with that. So it's the opposite for me. I don't know. I don't find myself very often just wanting to have sex with a woman. So I don't think that if a woman sleeps with me on the first date or the third date or whatever, how early it is, that it affects how I view them. Our conversation more so determines everything, what they're sharing about themselves, what their dreams are, what their pains are, if they can admit their issues. I love a woman who is self-aware. So if you can say, hey, you know what? I got this and this going on, so it's hard for me to do this. It's hard for me to do that. Sometimes I'm going to act funny in this area. I totally respect and embrace that.
Well, you are listening to He Said, She Said on IntellectualRadio.com. And we are talking about the topic of peeling back the layers of love and lust. And we're going to check in with some of our people here on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in with us here. Yvette said, if she does a self-analysis of herself, she will realize that this may extend as far back as childhood. To her, it may be that the bad relationships are what's normal to her. Perhaps she doesn't feel that she is loved without the chaos and the pain. And Terry, you alluded to that. Thank you, Donnie. And right now, I can't see all the comments. I was going good. Oh, Marvin Bailey says, we see the insecurities. Do you? Do men see the insecurities in y'all too?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you have any brains, you can definitely see the insecurities.
Do they care, though?
Sometimes.
If they like you, they care. Like you mentioned here, I know I'm telling all of Mary Jane, I am so sorry. I hope you watched that first episode. But like you said, the guy met her. He didn't want to sleep with her. He saw something more.
He saw some value in her.
Saw some value.
He wanted to help her peel back her own layers. He really did. He was there for the long haul, and she ran like, no, because it wasn't because she didn't want it. It was because she didn't want to be exposed. She did not want to be exposed for who she really was. But he broke her down. He really did. He broke her down, and it made her think about it. It made her really think of, who am I? What am I doing? Because you see her making conscientious decisions, even in her career and other things like, hey, we can't do that. That's not politically correct. That's, she has a moral compass in business. She has zero moral compass when it comes to sex and relationships. She has no moral compass.
That layer of no moral compass, when the woman outside looks so together, so is that a coping mechanism?
I've been that woman. I was that woman. And I thought that if I have sex, and not with multiple men, but the men I was with, I have to continue to feed that. But it was really my own, my insecurities that I was feeding. He's going to stay with me. But once I saw that they weren't, that's why I could identify with her so much, because we lie about, I don't like her and she's being this. I'm like, if you look at any part of her life, somebody has lived out who she is. We're just not honest about what it is that we do and who we are. And sometimes we are not aware that we're living that life.
We're not aware.
I didn't know that's what I was doing.
And you don't want to face it. You want to be better than that.
Yes.
You like that feeling that I'm better than that, and so you do that. I don't do that. I'm not that kind of girl. But
yes, absolutely.
Yatu says, I know nothing about this.
No, I know a lot about it. I know better than you're not that type of girl. No,
he's the one you're not being that type of girl with.
Absolutely. In my younger years, though.
In the younger years,
not recent. Not
2017 and Yatu, because he's different now. He's been like,
I've been so good this year. It's amazing.
It's only January 20.
I know, but it's
he's like, you don't even know. I gotta take it day by day.
Day by day. Please understand.
Exactly.
We're talking about peeling back the layers at IntellectualRadio.com, and I brought my intellectual friends here, and Yachu and Terry D, to discuss this topic of peeling back the layers of love and lust. And Terry said it best, the blurred lines of it. When we meet someone, when we're having a relationship and thinking this is love? Is it love? Is it lust? Do we know the difference? So Terry D, I am Terry D, was nice enough to give us this topic. And at first, and Yacha was like, break that down. What do you mean?
Right. Elaborate.
So
elaborate. And I didn't see it today, so I'm like, elaborate.
Well, let's see. I couldn't believe he was asking me.
So
I have to simplify for people. I'm like, okay.
So elaborate some more for us, Terry D, since this is a beautiful topic that you brought us, and
people like it.
And people they like it, and because we live it.
Yes, we do.
We live this.
And it's not until we start talking about it that people start to identify that in themselves. Really, because I didn't know. I was like, And I'll even take back the layers when I think about childhood. And I think about how I saw relatives or people so sexual. And I'm young. And so now your wheels are spinning because you're thinking, all I see is sex. All I hear is sex. Even though in your head, these people have to love each other, but I can't decipher what the two are because I'm too young. So as I grow up, I become a sexual being because that's all I've been introduced to.
It's what we've been introduced to. It's what we see. Yes. We can't determine. We don't see a lot of love.
We can't escape the lust, especially today. That's all that we see on TV. That's all that we see in every different aspect. And so when we think about love, back in the day, you would see the shows of love, where we were taught love, but now it's hard to peel back those layers. So the first layer comes in, what were we taught? What were you taught about love? And what were you shown about lust? See, you're only taught about love, but you're shown lust. You're not taught about lust. You're taught in, you're not really taught directly, but indirectly you're taught it because it's like what goes on in this house, you don't talk about it, but you may hear it in your house, and it's not hidden, because I think that people don't know any better. When we're taught this, it's not that you're saying anything bad. They just don't know that they're teaching you something that's you're going to carry into your adult life.
I totally agree. I think, like you said, it's something that they don't realize.
No.
They don't realize they're doing the best they know how, what they've been taught to do. And it's just how we live our lives.
Why are you laughing?
Because I was born lustful. I didn't learn it. I'm telling you, my parents have memories of me at such an early age, and I have memories of my son at such an early age. There's no way that he had been influenced before the age of 1. And so I can remember being 3 or 4 years old, and my mother had this girlfriend named Candy who moved to California, who I thought was so gorgeous. And she came back to visit, and when she got up, they hung out all night. They sent me to bed. But the next morning when she got up to take a shower, I decided at 4 years old to sneak into the bathroom so that I could see her naked. And I wasn't ready for what I saw, right? I blurted something out, but I just remember at, a very early age, of course, things did happen as I got older too that contributed to it, but I remember it at such an early age in me, and I remember it at such an early age inside my son. We would just be on the elevator and he would be blowing women kisses. I'm like, where are you even getting this from? You're not even a year old. But it seemed to me that he could differentiate from who he thought was really attractive and who he saw as an auntie or a grandma type of woman, and who he saw as, I'm going to date this woman. And so maybe it's different for the fellas. I'm not sure.
Do you think, so you're saying that men, some may be more lustful than women or born that way?
Yeah, I don't think it was learned behavior. I think I ended up attracting things because it was already in me. Truth be told, 10 years old, 23-year-old female babysitter. I didn't see it as molesting then, but that's what it was. Yes. 15-year-old babysitter, same thing at 10 years old. All this sexual energy piled up in me. And then I had a very liberal grandfather purchase on TV for the house, instructed me to stay up and watch movies called AO. I didn't know what that stood for. Adults Only is what it stood for. And then I ended up charging all my friends $1 to spend the night at my house on the weekend so that they could watch it too. But I think all of that came to me because I was already in that vein of mind. I was, when I looked at Wonder Woman, I wanted her to put that golden lasso around me for different reasons. There was nothing about being a superhero.
Right.
I was looking at for Linda Carter.
If I listen to what Inyatu is saying, so Inyatu is saying younger, you have these feelings, but you were influenced. You were influenced as you went along because you're not the first male. You're one of many that I've heard say, I had a babysitter that touched me or had me to touch them. And young. And then I knew a gentleman, he said he was 7 and his aunt, made him do things. He said so his aunt would make him do things. So he grew up trying to figure out why he was a breast man or why he was this. He was like, because, and the same thing you said, identical, I didn't know it was wrong. So we are introduced to things, though there are deep layers that go to this. It's not just, I didn't wake up at 25 and decide to be this person that likes sex so much. I didn't do it. It was something that came along. See, when me being born as a woman, or I'm sure you can identify, Wanda, those weren't the thoughts that I had. It wasn't until I started to see it. My mother, what was funny is my parents would hide from me. They would, like, no, you can't see this, exactly. But I would still see it in the house, but I couldn't see it on TV. We couldn't listen to Richard Pryor. We couldn't, it was just certain things we couldn't do. I'm dating myself now, but it was certain things we could not do. And so all those different layers that we have of who we are, I don't care what you say, the energy that you have with someone, it's not like, I'm not going to be like, oh, and Yatu is a good looking man. You know what I mean? And not have some kind of thought of something, like I wonder, as a woman, even if you never intend on acting on it, you're gonna always wonder, even if he is not the person for me. And but we give in to that because we be like, he's not the person for me, but I'm the bomb. See, we think that I'm the bomb, so he gonna want to be with me, and we think that. My mama say, don't ever think that you don't think. Because it does. Because guess what? Just like you think you the bomb, somebody else think they the bomb too, and they're gonna step to him the same way.
It's so interesting and true. We are talking about peeling back the layers of love and lust and the blurred lines in relationships, of knowing the difference of love and lust and who we are and what we bring to the table with this. What layers do we have? What do we feel about ourselves? Plays a part in some of the blurred lines that we feel and see. And thank you all for chiming in. Julie, I see you. Thank you. And of course, every time I start talking, it always flips and everybody goes away. So Lisa, I know I saw you earlier because Facebook love playing with me. It's like, bye. I'm like, you stinkers. Facebook is a stinker with me today. Andre, Melanie, thank you all for who are tuning in and listening to us talk about this topic. And so very fortunate to have Terry D. I am Terry D. Bring me a different topic, something we haven't discussed, and helping us peel back the layers of love and lust and meeting someone and knowing the difference. Is it wrong or right?
That's what I was about to say. Are we supposed to suppress the lust?
Are we supposed to suppress? Now I'm confused as to
release the lust.
I'm gonna feel that way. Bottle
only
that up.
Once a month.
Is there wrong and right to this?
I think that is preference. I mean, at some point though, depending on what it is that you want. So as women, so I'm having y'all two chime in, but as a woman, if you're looking for, or if you're looking for someone to find you, the first thing you have to do is you do have to recognize who you are as a woman. Be honest. Because once you're honest and you decide, I no longer want to live this life. For me, when I decided I no longer wanted that to be, I took a 5-year hiatus from dating, from everything. And I was like, I cannot do this. And I came back like, yes, like that's on my chest. I'm good. So then I started to attract a different type of man. And I knew what I wanted. And I knew that sex was not going to be laid on the table for you. I knew then I wanted that deep feeling of love and what I, needed. You gonna get some trolls in between that's gonna try. You're not gonna try. But you have to definitely go deep within, and those are layers that are inside, not just what we're hiding. Like I wrote a poem called The Mask, and it's about I wear makeup to cover up the scars, but there are no real scars. They're internal scars. I step outside with not a piece of clothing out of place because I need you to see me for who I'm not. Mm-hmm. I need you to see me for who I'm not. I'm letting you see something that is not really who I am. So when I remove that mask, you see the true me. You really do. I mean, no matter, like you said, if it's a lustful person, if it's who it is, but as women, we do view things differently. So that means that for me, I need to attract who I really am. And so I had to become who I wanted to attract.
And that is huge. That is major. You heard that on IntellectualRadio.com. That is such a major thing, but we have to take the time. Sometimes we need fillers. We're the Mary Janes that we feel like we need to fill in the spaces, that we can't take that time for ourselves. And if we are attracting the same thing that we don't want, some self-reflection.
Common denominator. Who's the common denominator?
Who's the common denominator?
Common denominator, not them.
When they go, I keep attracting the same kind of loser.
Right now, loser alert, self-loser.
They don't like to hear that. They don't like to hear that, though. You say, when I see women complain, I try to hold back because I don't want to be debating with people on Facebook. But every once in a while, I find myself chiming in like, if it keeps happening, maybe you need to change something. But most people don't want to hear that. But it's ironic. Some women I look at, and it's all lust, and other women I look at and there is no lust. It's like, ooh, look at the big brain on Terry. She's so smart and she's so self-aware and she's so transparent, and that is what I find attractive. But as I was sharing before the show started, there's another woman who every time I look at her, the song Poison from BDD comes on. It's like, that this is going to be nothing but trouble, nothing but nonstop lust, and great, but something you might not be able to stop or escape from. So therefore, I run from that particular situation. But it varies. But I find myself not judging or not making myself incapable of loving a woman because she felt lust towards me early on and things of that nature. Like I said, it really is more about what's coming out on the inside than that. That's natural in my humble opinion.
Yes, it is. It's natural to be attracted to someone physically without it being lust too. It's natural because that's the first thing that we see. So as you get to know someone, so really if you want to escape it, first you heal within, and then you begin to, once you start to attract that different person, don't dangle raw meat in front of a bear. Stop doing, you understand? Don't dangle raw meat in front of a bear. You have to set yourself up for success. So that means, no, I'm not coming to your house for you to cook me dinner. No, you're not coming to my house.
It doesn't matter where we go. If that's what's there, it's there. Chris Rock said all women could cover themselves 3/4 like the Muslim women, and men would still get 15 to 20 erections.
I think that's not what Terry's saying, though. Okay. I think what she's saying is, for me, and I totally agree and do the same thing, I don't put the temptation on myself. Yes. It's not about you.
Oh, okay.
I know what I would do if I get you to your house.
Exactly.
So it's not about you. Right. When I say no, it's not because I know you're going to want me. We know men want women. They lust after women. But if I know I want something different, I'm not going to dangle the raw meat in front of the bear. For me, because you're my raw meat.
Exactly. And I know better. That's exactly what I'm saying. So it doesn't matter what you see in me. I'm not going to set myself up for failure, because let me tell you something. The moment that I'm with you, I already know if I'm going to give you something. I know that. Yes. As women, we already know what we going to do, whether he ain't getting none. Or we know, okay.
We going to end up in the bathroom at this restaurant. I know what y'all talking about. That location will not save you. I promise you.
That's why we don't put ourselves in that situation.
Right. No, it will save some people.
It will save me. If I don't want to do it, see, that's the thing. I know if I don't want to do it, there's nothing you can do. You can't lick your lips enough. You can't.
The LL Cool J don't work on you.
You can't, because then I'm focused. I met a gentleman. He was like, I never seen anybody that knows so much about what they want. And so I think his whole goal was to knock me off my square. Like, she has got to stop with this.
Sounds like a fun challenge.
Stuff, right? And once they're over, the thing about what ladies don't understand is now they like, oh, he must really love me. He is really, no, babe, he don't, no. Because is he doing anything else to show you that? No, he's working towards trying to get you off of, focus, what you're trying to do. Now, if you're like the gentleman, we'll go back and reference Mary Jane. If you're like him, he had a true, genuine interest in her, and it wasn't about sex. Because if you notice, every time, men think they control that. But every time he got with her, she controlled whether or not they had sex or not. No matter how many advances, if I'm not feeling you.
Yeah, I don't think I'm controlling anything. I think they decided long before. I'm just the lucky beneficiary in life sometimes. But,
yeah, the beneficiary. You took out an insurance policy on this encounter.
The right place at the right time with the right person. But different people will bring different things out of you in different situations. And so it's like you said, as you get older, you get to know yourself. And so you start to know who to just avoid this person. I don't care where we... I'm not going to church with you.
Right.
I don't care where. Right. You're going to make me go to hell for sure.
And you know what? What I found with men, they may come with an agenda, but then they meet this woman and they like, oh. And that agenda goes out the door. Remember at the relationship workshop where Linnell said he went with an agenda. A gentleman went to dinner with an agenda, and now he's married to her.
Right.
He was going home after he had dinner to have sex with somebody else. Woman.
Yep.
And he called her on the way home and was like, yeah, I'm good. After hours of dinner with her. So sometimes we come with an agenda and somebody else will inspire you. See, we don't change people. Who we are inspires them to want to be better.
Exactly.
We don't change people. We just inspire them because of who we've discovered we are.
I love it. I love it. You are listening to IntellectualRadio.com, and we are talking about peeling back the layers of love and lust. And he said, she said, we like to have the male perspective and the female perspective. And Yatu is our resident male who shows up every week to defend. He takes all of our estrogen. We pour it all on him, and he takes it well.
I love it. It's a thankless job.
Thankless job. Someone has to do it. And I am very pleased and honored to have I am Terry D here with me. Terry D bringing on her knowledge on this subject of peeling back the layers of love and lust.
You gonna stay right there?
I'm gonna stay there for a minute.
Breathe.
It makes you like, it's a word. Isn't that like an intense word?
It is. It's like that sexy type of love.
1 minute, you're sipping
love
on
is like, okay,
and
not that we don't, that we don't love, but that lust, you'd be like, oh, okay. Okay.
Is it harder then to push back love because it has that energy?
Oh, is it harder to push back? Sometimes it is, but it depends on you. It is, but you can be a person that really won't love but I feel like if you're in a relationship with somebody, I think you need to have all that wrapped up in one. You need to have some love for each other. You gotta have it to keep that energy, to keep that flow, but you have to start off with love, because what I found is when you have a relationship and the physical energy is so strong, once you sleep together, what you gonna do every time you see each other?
Sleep together.
You're not gonna be like, oh, okay, so you there's really no sleeping, but you're like, so you wanna, no, so you gonna order pizza in because you don't want to leave the house. And it's hard to change the trajectory of that. It's hard to now change hats and be like, okay, now we're gonna, unless that's what you really want. And as Yatu said, I honestly believe that you can. People don't believe it, but I think that you can sleep with somebody on the first date and still have a relationship with them. It was just, you got it out the way. And now you're deciding to do something else. People are not honest about that. We like, no, that cannot happen. And let me tell you, I'm a Christian through and through. So I do believe in the values and what we do. But we also have to address people from every layer and level. Because if we don't, we're not reaching anyone. If we're just like, this is who I am and this is not what I'm, then people wear these blinders, of what's not going to happen.
It also makes us start to lie to ourselves and others. It's hard to be real when we can't be real about the topic, when we're so busy trying to masquerade that we are this thing that we think everybody wants us to see. If we really spoke from places of honesty, we'd be able to heal.
We will. We'll heal so much faster. And that's why even when we talk about removing the mask, I say as women and men, let's heal together. Because when we do things, women begin to heal. And then we go home to broken men. And then because it says, be ye not conformed. Guess what? We end up conforming to them because we want to please them. And we don't want to lose them. And so we're healing, but we're not healing together. We're not even helping heal them because we go home and we jump right back into it. Then we come back out. So we're still wearing a mask. It's just that we are only true when we're in the house. When we come out to other people, then we remain. Because I always tell people, I can't do a certain thing and live a lie. I'm hypocritical. I'm living a lie if, for so long I felt like that. And I was like, I can't live this lie and then help heal other people.
I think that has to be huge, especially when you're putting yourself in the place of wanting to heal others. It's hard. You need to come from a place of being healed yourself. I mean, how can you recognize it in others? How you need that stability to help others, I think.
Is it hard to always live up to that? Because I know I knocked myself off a pedestal or two before in life because I was like, I can't live up to this.
I think we're on a journey together, though. Yes. I think it helps you stay on it by helping others. What do you think, Terry?
It does. When you know that you're being held accountable and people are watching you, then it becomes a little bit more easier. But make no mistake about it. I have failed, been on the ground, like somebody get my shoe, I really need you. So I fell off, but we're so hard on ourselves. We don't allow ourselves to forgive, and other people don't forgive us. You said, and so it is a process because then, and you have to stay away from toxic people. You cannot be toxic, so then I was dating a gentleman and, I thought it was this amazing relationship, finally, we took the time to get to know each other. We became friends. It made us so close that it was scary. And then once and that's the thing, when you create that bond, like people say, what if I don't have sex with them? And then you do, it makes it better because you've already created everything else. So once you get with them on a physical level, it's so much different, but we have to influence one another. We have to be better, but you also have to forgive yourself. You can't be like, I'm the worst. It's like being on a diet. Okay, I had a cupcake. Okay, so now just get over, drink some water, eat a salad, and keep going.
Thank God for forgiving yourself.
Thank God for forgiveness. We have to forgive ourselves, forgive others, and know that we are not perfect. It goes back, piggying back to what you said, Wanda, about how people view us, how forgiveness, how we're like, I'm not, I'm healing within, but how can I be healed or not be healed and then think I'm going to heal, someone else? For me, I had to be true and I had to have a moral compass about who I was and stop measuring up to who I think society wants me to be.
I think, like you said, so huge is being forgiving to yourself because we are our hardest critic. Anytime I hear someone say something, I've thought so much worse about myself. So learning to love yourself. And I know people say, oh, I love myself, but really getting to the core of...
We don't know what that means.
We don't know what that means. A lot of people say...
Myself? What does that mean? That means not allowing other people not to love you. I always say, my joy and my happiness is not optional. It's not negotiable. So if you don't bring that to me, then I need you to keep it moving. If I identify it right away, I'm like, because the true part of that other layer is, if I allow it, then that's a layer of me that I'm hiding, that I really don't love me because I'm allowing you not to love me.
When you start to live out loud and remove the layers, it's hard to put them back on.
It's hard to put them back on. You have to now. Here's the thing, and Yato and I had this conversation this past week.
Oh, I want to hear it. So what's this conversation? Share with us on He Said, She Said, and IntellectualRadio.com. Who's listening? We want to hear about this conversation.
So we talked about the fear of living up to what people expect of you. Once you remove those layers, like people are always watching, they're expecting something from me. So how do I live up to that? How do I decide that this is the life I'm going to live? That means aligning myself with other people who hold me accountable for who I say I'm going to be. Not people, because people will pray for you and people will pray on you. And so once they see that you are living up to it, then you know, you're going to have those trolls, as I said, that's going to come in. And so, and Yatu said, you can't live, you know, for what it is that these people want from you. Just be you. Just continue to do you and know that whatever it is, they will continue to attract, you know,
so
to
true.
you. Mm-hmm.
And not being afraid, because fear kicks in so much when you're trying to live this certain way. The fear that I may not make it to where the fear that I'm backsliding, that I'm not. The fear, but to just say, you know what, just keep going.
Yes.
Gotta practice being brave.
You gotta practice being brave. And when you fall off, don't kick yourself. Get right back on. Like you said, you eat that cupcake. So what? I ate the cupcake. I'm gonna drink a lot of water. I'm gonna run around the block, and I'm back on my salad and my banana today. And be okay with that. And finding like-minded individuals who hold you accountable. Who have your best interests at heart, but sometimes they need to have their own. Some people don't, when you see they're not doing it for themselves, how really can they help you if they are fighting these issues too? And there's nothing wrong with that, no judgment at all.
Right.
Do you? But at the same time, maybe you need to pull back so you can stay where you need to go.
Better soil.
Better soil.
So different plants grow in, you know, different circumstances. Plants grow better, and so your soil is going to be different from the next person's soil. So definitely you have to associate yourself with the right people, because we're all products of our environment. Yeah. If you're in a terrible, toxic environment, I don't care how strong you are spiritually, whatever, if you're 100% of the time surrounded by negativity, ultimately, you know, you're going to start to get pulled into that. So you really have to be careful.
I agree with that. That's
a lot of times we try to be loyal. We've known somebody since high school, or this person is a family member. Love them from a distance.
Yeah, if that is okay. From a distance. People don't want, it's like they want to hold you accountable for who you used to be. Once you have decided that you're not going to be that, we yoke up. You know, sometimes we don't know, but then when you know better, you do better, and you can't fear what the backlash will be. God doesn't give us a spirit of fear, so we have to understand that we are who, you know, be who you say you are. Be authentic and transparent.
So I think you got a new guest for your event. Somebody said, sign me up.
And I am going to let
Terry D is the bomb for sure.
Yes, she is. We are talking about peeling back the layers of love and lust and what that means for people. And thank you, my dear cousin, my mentor, my everything, who peels back the layers and fights the fight for us, dear Jennifer McCoy. I appreciate you so much. Sister Listine, thank you for tuning in. We love you back. And Yatu always has the ladies all the time. Someone said, how does she get to sit next to this fine young gentleman? I think that's what she was to sign me up for.
Oh, okay.
She's like, I want to sign me up. Sign me up for sick. How can Terry D get out that seat? And I get
that's amazing, though. I find myself not wanting lustful relationships. So I can just think of a couple of occasions where I was like staggering the sex. Like, we're not going to do this every night. We're going to have to keep the conversation and the getting to know each other up, and it's consistent.
Do men feel that way? Because women, we feel like you all are, well, speak for most. Do you think, because that's nice to know. I think that's kind of refreshing to know that, man, because we don't, I think some women, we feel like that's what you all want.
No, I see something much more valuable in women than sex. And I'm not trying to say that to be a goody two-shoes. I'm full of lust. I've done all types of bad things in my life. But truth be told, that's not the value I see in women. And women have a perspective, a way of thinking, a level of intelligence, a level of openness, a level of caring, that is unmatched. I've never talked to any, and I've talked to all type of people all around the country and all around the world, but women, there's something else that y'all have. And I always say that God really demonstrated how he feels about women, because he set it up so that no human being comes to the earth without spending 9 months exclusively with the woman before the rest of us can even get involved. So what type of trust is that? What type of faith is that? And what does that say about women, just even from a standpoint of coming from God? And so, I think since I graduated from school, the most lessons I've learned about almost anything in life has come from interacting with women, having great conversations with women, having experiences with women, whether it's been friendship, relationship, business relationship, whatever. But that's where I get it from. Men, we're too macho a lot of time. I got a few friends who we can talk about almost anything, but everybody else is trying to, posture and be manly and doesn't want to be perceived as weak or things of that nature. So I don't find myself able to engage men in conversations on the same level or the same depth that I'm able to with women. I learned so much from it. And so that's what I see. I'm not looking most of the time like, ooh, I wonder how it is to have sex with her. I'm like, I wonder, what her experience was to get her to this place that she's at right now. She's at a focused place. She's at a empowered place. How many trips and falls, how many mountains does she have to overcome? How many challenges does she have to overcome, to get to this place? I find that to be what interests me.
I think that, I'll speak for men who do have a moral compass. It's sexy. Strong women are sexy to them when they want that. Now, if they don't want it, you'll meet a man and just the fact that you don't want him to text you and ask you to go out and just physically ask, oh no, you're asking too much. Mm-mm. You're here. Wait, what? You need me to actually talk to you? I'm not here for the emoji date. I'm not here for that.
Right.
And I met a gentleman, very nice gentleman, and he's like, hey, the first date, we were in Hyde Park. I'll never forget this. And we were actually supposed to be a business meeting, but he bamboozled me. He really wanted to go out with me. And he said he wanted to meet me for business. We went through 3 wait staffs. We were there for 7.5 hours. 7.5 hours we were at this place. And so
our super producer here at IntellectualRadio.com says he would never sit with
lust keep you sitting there. That man loves you. He loved hearing you talk.
I saw him almost every day after that when I wasn't traveling, because I travel so much. And when we would spend the night for 2 or 3 days in a row. And he said to me, the third night we spent the night, I know that we may hold each other, we may kiss, but what we're not going to do, you are not the woman that I'm supposed to sit here and have sex with. He was like, you're better than that. Because we would get really into making out like kids, like teenagers. And that made me appreciate him so much more.
God,
so he would turn on music and we would sleep in our clothes. I'm not kidding you. So it goes back to when the guys would say they want more, but me as a woman, you like, what's wrong with you? Don't you see me? And that's where we go. We go there before he will, because now we're trying to figure out why, we make it personal. We internalize it.
Yes.
Instead of thinking about, he really just wants to be with me. We internalize pain, and then we internalize when somebody wants to love us. So because we're not used to people loving us, and we've been in toxic relationships for so long, when people actually want to get to know us, we don't. It goes back to
something wrong.
Yeah, for some women, they feel like that feels like rejection to them. He's trying to embrace more of you than just your body. Yeah. But in that regard, those women are feeling rejected in that moment, or feeling less attractive. If he can resist me, I don't want him to be able to resist me. But
which makes no sense. And you're gonna tell your girlfriend, they be like, he didn't want to sleep with you.
Something's wrong with him.
Something wrong with him, girl.
The mentality. But I had so much respect for him after that. And even when we decided to finally be physical, we still didn't make it about that. When we got together, he would be like, hey, you want to go to a museum? Hey, you want to go for a walk? Let's make this. And he was like, you make me want to do better stuff. Because I see where you are. So I can't be stagnant. You make me want to step my game up. It's nothing more sexier to me to be with a man. Yatu and I had this conversation last week too. To see a man that make me want to step my game up. And I think I'm pretty bomb.
Right, absolutely.
But it starts with you.
It starts
and
with
that's
you.
what you've been saying, Terry. And it's so true that it starts from within. It's the layer. It's probably the deepest layer under all the layers.
Yes.
Is the one that's for you. That layer that is about you is under there, but we have to get to it. And we still may have a couple. I know I got a couple that I probably need to pull up. We all do. We're constantly working. We're work in progress. There is a journey to wholeness.
Wrap it up.
But and so we've been talking about peeling back the layers. And what is so nice about talking about peeling back the layers is Terry has a wonderful event coming up February 4th. where I'm going to allow her to speak for it because she's going to do it so much better than I. So go ahead, Terry.
Thank you, Wanda. So as Wanda said, I'm having an event. It's the Terry D experience, removing the mask. And what that is men and women coming together. It's not your typical seminar or conference. It's not no panel events. We will heal together. And as I said, women heal. We do not heal, let our men heal. So let's do this together. It's February 4th. It is in Bolingbrook at the Hilton Garden Inn. It starts at 3 p.m. Today is the last day to get your tickets because you're just now hearing about it. If you do want to come, the tickets are $65. That includes lunch. It includes goodie bags and a whole lot of healing and things that you will not leave there the same way that you came. So I implore you to come. I implore you to come out, and pretty much that's it in a nutshell. www.theterrydexperience.com is how you purchase your tickets. If you want to come, I can certainly extend the date for the viewers today, and it will just be for you. Thank you so much, Wanda.
Oh, thank you, Terry D. I'm so excited. We get that experience. You have been listening to He Said, She Said on IntellectualRadio.com. If you are interested in having your own show, please go to my Facebook page, Wanda B, and let me know. We'd love to have you here at IntellectualRadio.com. I want to see you the same place, same time next week, 2:00 here on IntellectualRadio.com. Bye. Thank you to Inyasu and Terry D for this experience with us today. We've had a good time. And to all my sponsors, please check them out. They're going to be on my Facebook page, Wanda B. Like B, that kind of B, Wanda B. I'm going to put them there. Thank you again. I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. He said, she said.
I wouldn't know where to start, no. It's good in